Are you looking for an e-bike with a DJI Avinox motor? Then you might find yourself facing a choice between the Amflow PL Carbon Pro and the Crussis E Full. We have thoroughly tested both of these bikes for you and put them head to head in a comparison. Right off the bat, you can hardly make a wrong decision with this choice. Both of these bikes come equipped with the exact same impressive power of the Avinox system and will make any mountain bike heart beat much faster. The deciding factor for one or against the other bike are probably nuances and, above all, your personal preferences. You might have noticed these details on paper already, so here is a comprehensive overview of the most important similarities and differences between the two in terms of equipment, specifically in our case for the top-tier models. The frames already share a very strong visual similarity, and the bikes also only show very slight differences in terms of their geometry data. The head angle and also the reach are almost identical. Both of these bikes also feature 29-inch wheels. Likewise, both bikes offer 160mm of travel at the front and 155mm at the rear. With that, you can ride almost anything in the bike park and in the forest. Of course, both bikes also share the Avinox system, the 800 Wh in-tube battery, which unfortunately cannot be removed, as well as the same display and the two handlebar control units. Both are also charged with the 12 ampere fast charger. And they share another nice detail: the 12-speed AXS shifting from SRAM. On the Crussis, however, there's the slightly better XX version of the transmission shifting, while on the Amflow you have to rely on the X0 version, though you'll hardly notice the difference. The Crussis also comes with the XX chain and the corresponding SRAM cranks with a length of 165mm. The Amflow, on the other hand, has its own cranks which are slightly shorter, 155mm in the M frame size and 160mm in the L and XL versions. This provides a bit more pedal clearance. In general, the Amflow relies on more of its own parts, such as its own carbon handlebar with 25mm rise and 800mm width, its own stem with 35mm clamping and length, its own Amflow carbon wheel set and Amflow grips. On the Crussis, however, you'll find the race-face turbine aluminium handlebar with a 40mm rise and a noticeably narrower 780mm width. It also features a race-face turbine stem with 35mm clamping and 40mm length. For the wheels you also get carbon, but from FSA with the Gradient i30. A super quiet rear wheel hub also struck me as very pleasant during my test rides. For the grips, Crussis stays true to the premium brand Raceface and includes the Getter grip here. Furthermore, there are major differences in the suspension elements. Right here on the Crussis, you get the new Fox Podium upside down fork and the advanced Fox Float X Live Valve Neo Shock with integrated electronic suspension optimization. And I probably don't need to mention the Cashmere coating in this price segment. The Amflow, on the other hand, has the classic Fox 36 factory fork, paired with the very popular and well-known Fox Float X factory shock. So on paper, the Crussis has the slightly more premium components here. Although I have to admit, for the average e-mountain biker who mainly wants to ride and not wrench so much, the more classic components of the Amflow might even be the better alternative, as they simply require a bit less setup and familiarization, and in our opinion, work just as well. It's a similar story with the braking system. On the Amflow, you'll find the powerful Magura MT7 Pro brakes with 203mm rotors. But the Crussis can top that performance by featuring the SRAM Maven Ultimate brakes, which are equipped with 200mm rotors. And when it comes to the adjustable dropper post, the Crussis pulls ahead of the Amflow by offering the electronic Fox Transfer Neo system. On the Amflow, however, the setup is still a traditional mechanical one with the Fox Transfer factory post. This also means you will find one more cable in the Amflow's cockpit area, whereas on the Crussis you only have the two clean brake lines for those Maven brakes. These differences are, of course, reflected in the price tag. You can currently get the Amflow for €9,999, while for the extra equipment on the Crussis, you'll have to pay an RRP of €11,990. In a few other areas, the Amflow also comes out on top for us. First of all, there's the Ergon SM Pro saddle, which simply suited us better in terms of comfort, and secondly, the fact that the Amflow is overall a bit lighter. That also matters when it comes to the maximum system weight. It's not particularly outstanding for either bike, unfortunately. The Crussis is specified at 120 kilos, and for the AMFLOW it's 125 kilograms. But if it also comes with less overall mass, the AMFLOW simply gives you a bit more headroom. I weighed the Crussis next to me in size L, including pedals, at 22.4 kilograms, whereas the AMFLOW, also in size L but without pedals, came in at 20.4 kilograms. In the end, all I can say is, if you're choosing between these two incredible bikes, just go with your gut feeling. The Crussis offers slightly better equipment, but as I mentioned, it also requires a bit more effort for a really good setup. In a direct riding comparison in admittedly difficult conditions, the AMFLOW feels a bit more lively, which is mainly due to the lower overall weight, which is why I probably would have chosen the AMFLOW on this day. At this point, I definitely recommend taking a closer look at another Crussis bike, the Crussis eFull 1211 Pro without the X, because it comes with almost identical equipment to the Amflow PL Carbon Pro, with a classic fork but at a more attractive price of 8,990 euros. Now, I am very curious to hear your opinion and which one you would have chosen if I were to give you a bike like this. If you don't want to wait for a gift like that, then feel free to click into our shop right now. We'll be happy to deliver the bikes right to your doorstep. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like. Subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon.